Hi, welcome. My name is Mary Olowomeye, and this is our first episode on the Artist Mind. And I have someone really, really special right here with me in the studio. And I'll say this is an amazing opportunity for me to have this conversation with him. Is one of my motivator. So, please, can we meet you, sir?
My name is Ebenezer Olowomeye. I'm a visual artist. Yeah, I guess that explains it. Yep.
Okay. So, my first question to you is for a layman and for a random person that is hearing about artists for the first time,
Mhm.
can you please tell us who an artist is?
First, we want to understand what is art. Art is about creating. Art is about thinking. It's about communicating. So, an artist is simply someone that creates.
I feel like when you said art is like an artist is like a creator, does that, it just came to my mind like, does that also mean that it's like you gave me an opportunity to see God as an artist, right? Because while you were talking, picture when he created the heavens and the earth, and then saying, "Oh, let there be this, let there be that, let there be this, let there," it's just a showcase of how God created. So does that mean that artists really got that gift, that talent, because it's not everyone that can paint, that can draw, that can, that can sing, that can do a lot of things as an artist. Does that really mean that yes, that particular gift came from?
Yes, it's God is a master artist.
Okay.
God creates. That's the first thing we know about God. God creates. So everybody has that likeness of God.
Okay.
Everybody can create.
Really?
Yes, everybody can create. Creating is not limited to making things or painting or drawing, sculpting, writing. There are different ways to create. Okay, so everybody has the likeness of God. The first thing we know about God is God creates heaven and earth, right? So He creates us in that likeness to continue that work. Right. So, all born artist. Artist is just a word to describe a kind of people that dedicate their life to creating. Some people sit down and all they do is create. Some people don't have the mind of sitting down to tap into that creative ability, but everybody can.
So my second question to you is, when did you discover that you want to be an artist?
I was in primary six, and a friend of mine likes drawing. I never knew I I mean I can draw. A friend of mine like drawing, so you show me his drawings, then I will say, okay, let me start trying something. It just fascinates me how he can connect some lines, different lines, and make something like something random, like just draw some basic lines and it forms an object and imagery that I can, interpret physically into something, it just makes sense to me. So that's how I begin to explore drawing. As a very young guy, I struggle with a lot of things. I
That's
struggle with reading. I struggle with writing, right?
apprehensive.
Okay. But then with drawing, I started finding meaning. People started, commenting, started liking what I can. So it feels good to me that I can actually do something that people like, right? So that's how it begins to me, and I begin to explore it, and went to secondary school, joined fine art, and that's just how it begins.
Do you remember what your first piece of artwork looks like?
Well, what I can remember is that I started trying. We have all kinds of textbooks, like all these textbooks in primary school that has images. That's how I started. I started, recreating those images. So remember, one of these days my mom was so happy that I can draw, you know, and I can't forget that memory because it means a lot to me that someone recognized, especially my mom, that she's very proud of the fact that I could create something. And that's how the creative journey begins.
So when you mentioned when your mom saw your first work and she was so excited, I believe that that was the turning point for you. Aside from, yes, you have the potential to draw personally, it was a form of motivation for you, because even when you don't feel like continue the period, maybe you struggled with, since it was a pictorial image, like it serves as a kind of this person, that the first time she saw my work, she was excited. What would be my excuse for her not to see me continue this thing? Because she motivated me, she was so happy for me, and I want to just keep that smile on her face, and that's a good motivation. It's an awesome experience having you on our first episode, and we can't wait to have you again, because obviously we can see that there's so much to unpack. Thank you so much once again. All right, so this is the Artist Mind with Mary Olowomeye, and I believe you had a great time with us, and we can wait to see you again in our next session.